What's up guys, the Human Car Jack here, and today we have a pretty cool little project for the Forester. And we also have Brittany here, she's going to be helping us out with the job.
Hi guys.
Alright, so in this video we have a couple things going on. The first thing that's going to happen is we're going to use CRC intake valve and turbo cleaner. Now I actually did this before, I've used it on the car to clean up the the intake valves, because these cars are direct injection, so they do get a lot of carbon buildup. The thing is that the thing that I didn't have last time I did that was one of these. So this is a borescope camera, so basically like it's really thin and it has a light on the end of it, so I could put this in like really dark areas and really tight thin areas, and it could illuminate the area and we can get a better view of everything. So basically this end is going to go into the intake valves. I'm going to see if I could actually get it in the right place, so we can see just how much carbon is already built up in the engine. Now, judging by the title of this video, you guys probably already know that I'm going to be installing a Perrin air oil separator. So the idea behind doing the intake valve cleaning first is that I kind of want to get the intake valves as clean as possible, as get the carbon out as much as I can, so that when I do install the air oil separator, it's going to be as fresh as possible. Now I know that there's a lot of information on the internet about this stuff, and that like it can mess up your sensor and things like that. I've used it before in the past. It was no problem, like it didn't affect the engine in any negative way at all, so it was no issue. So the thing that you have to do pretty much is I'm going to be pouring this into the intake valve while Brittany is going to be stepping on the gas. She's going to be holding it at 2,000 RPM. That's going to be clearing out all the liquid, and it's going to be kind of like, expelling it through the exhaust. So after we're done with that, it's generally recommended to do an oil change. So this is the first time actually using Royal Purple. I hear that this stuff is really good. It says high performance motor oil. I've never used it before. We'll see how that goes. I've always used Pennzoil, like Pennzoil Platinum and things like that, or like some sort of like Castrol or mobile variant. So we'll try this out. It's a little bit more expensive than the other two. This was about 35 bucks for 5 quarts on Amazon, and normally I get it for about like 20 to 22 bucks. So we'll give it a shot. And then we have our standard Subaru oil filter. So we're gonna pop the hood real quick. I'm gonna get some lighting over here so you guys can see what's going on. All right, so here's our intake manifold. So this is the bolt that we have to remove, and in here's the sensor. So when you remove this, if you go to start up the car and hold it at 2,000 RPM, it's not gonna work. The engine's just gonna die on you. So what you have to do is, I have this little like cardboard piece I'm gonna show you guys in a second. It's gonna be right in here. It's gonna place right in here, and then I'm gonna fit this little like funnel thing that I have off of an air compressor. It's gonna fit right in, and then we're gonna insert the straw end of the intake valve cleaner right into there. We're gonna spray this whole can. All right, so pretty janky setup, but what I have is this little like I guess like threaded piece. This goes on an air compressor, so I put it through a piece of cardboard and I cut it exactly the shape that it's supposed to be. I would recommend using like a thin piece of like sheet metal and cutting it that way. I'm probably gonna do that eventually once this like piece of cardboard like gives out, but this is honestly gonna probably be the last time that I do this after we get the air oil separator installed. So the bolt that we have right here is a 10 millimeter. Usually is, right, on Subarus. So you got the 10 millimeter. We're just gonna undo this right now. Just gonna pop this open, and we're gonna take the sensor out. So you just gotta pull it out. Just be careful while you're pulling it out. Right there. See how it's pretty dirty? It's got some oil on it. So I'm actually gonna grab some towels, gonna wipe it off first, then we're gonna put it to the side. So we're gonna take this end. It's gonna be facing down right over there, because I think the way it works, like don't quote me on this at all, but I think there's like a sensor, and it senses like a sensor in the intake manifold, and it senses if anything's in there. So when the intake sensor isn't in, the engine just won't start. We tried it before, and yeah, it wasn't a good time. So we're gonna leave that just the way it is. I'm gonna clean this off, and then I'm gonna get the CRC and spray it right in there while Brittany holds the engine at 2,000 RPM. So I just got done wiping the sensor, and look at all this crap that's on the towel. Yeah, so that was all just kind of caked onto the sensor right over there. There's actually still a little bit on there. So I'm gonna work on cleaning that off a little bit better, but I almost forgot the most important part why we're doing this video. So we're gonna take this off actually, and we're gonna stick our camera right in there. I wanna see if, because I think in order to actually see the valves, we have to be able to get the camera to go all the way into here, where like the I think like the TGV deletes are, or the EGR deletes, I forget. I think it's the TGV, somewhere down there. Yeah, like right in there. And we're gonna see how dirty the valves are, and I really hope that you can see them, and if not, then just ignore this part of the video. So that was some pretty cool and insane footage. I couldn't really center it like right over the valves, but this is what came off of the camera, like off of like the edge of the camera right over there after you know, pulling it out. So there's a lot of oil in there. So guys, I think the air oil separator might just be a must-do modification. I'll probably try and do a follow-up of this video too after I get the air oil separator installed, just to see how dirty it is or if it's cleaned up anything. So after we're done here, or after we're done putting in the CRC, obviously we're gonna take the camera and do a bit of like a before and after and see if it's cleaned anything up. All right, babe, it's your time to shine. So we're gonna get the car started up, so go ahead and give it a start. I'm gonna grab the CRC and we're gonna start spraying in there. So as you guys can see, the car started up right away, no issues. If you were to do that without using the cardboard piece and that little funnel, it's not gonna start up, so just remember that. So now that everything is started up, we're gonna have Brittany go ahead. She's gonna keep it at 2,000 RPM, and then we're gonna grab our spray and start spraying in. All right, go ahead. We good there? All right, we're good. Awesome. So before I put it in, I'm just gonna shake it up a little bit, spray it out here, just make sure that it's coming out. All right, so we're good. Now you might hear the engine kind of boggle a little bit, but that's totally normal. Yeah, so that's definitely gonna keep happening, so don't worry about it. You're just gonna keep spraying until the can is fully empty. And I'm gonna do it in bursts. So I'm gonna hold it for about 10 seconds and then let go a little bit. So we pretty much emptied out like half the can. Look at all the white smoke that's coming out. That's all the carbon deposits that are leaving the intake manifold. And look, I'm not even adding anything right now. It's still kind of bogging a little bit, but yeah, we're getting a lot of that stuff out of there. Yeah, so there's just a ton of smoke right now. So this is normal, don't freak out. So we're just gonna let all the smoke kind of rise up and just get out of here. Once we see that the smoke kind of starts fading a little bit, we're gonna have Brittany go ahead and rev up the engine to about 3,000 RPM, and it's gonna kind of get the rest of that gunk out. And then we're gonna do a little bit of a before and after comparison. We're gonna shut off the engine, let it cool off, and then we're gonna go ahead and do our oil change. Yeah, so you guys saw just how thick the smoke was before, so right now it's definitely thinning out a little bit. So it's gonna be that time soon where we're gonna rev it up a little bit to like 3,000 RPM, just get the rest of the stuff out. So we're gonna get a couple revs going now. Yep, go ahead. I'm gonna do like 5 of them, get whatever else is out. Good job. Hold on, wait, I'm like super zoomed in.
Oh, okay.
Good job.
Hey, I do car stuff now.
Yeah, it smells really bad right now.
Like ass. Sorry.
It smells terrible. No, don't worry about it. So that's all good. So what we're gonna do now is, actually I think in order to get a better idea of if this thing has really cleaned up or anything, I know that the CRC works as you keep driving, so the next couple days it's still gonna be cleaning out and it's still gonna be expelling a lot of stuff through the exhaust. So I'm gonna get the bore scope camera. We're going to place it back in the intake manifold, see if it cleaned anything up initially. And then, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna do it again because I don't really want to take it apart and look at it in about a week or so. But we're gonna see if the initial changes are significant enough to where, you know, we notice anything and it's cleaned up a lot of the carbon. We definitely saw a lot of the carbon leave the exhaust pipe, so that's good. But I just want to get an idea of how the actual intake manifold looks as well. So the intake manifold is actually still steaming a little bit. I guess that's like still the CRC kind of evaporating. And every time I stick the camera in there, it just kind of fogs up the lens. So we're gonna let this kind of cool off a little bit, let this stuff drain out or evaporate, and we're gonna do our oil change in the meantime. Man, ever since getting the car on coils, it's a lot lower, so I don't know if I could actually get to the Mishimoto drain valve like this, so I might just have to jack it up. Oh my god, that low life though, look, it's making contact with the skid plate. I think if I just take it from like this angle, this way, a little bit more diagonal, it should be fine. It should clear the skid plate. I'm gonna have to invest in a low profile jack now. I think we got it. It's still kind of making contact with the skid plate, but I think it might work. got our big ass funnel over here. I'm really curious to see how this high performance motor oil is going to hold up against the competition. So we'll see just how well it performs. Maybe it'll last a little bit longer. I know that the last one I used, I think it was Pennzoil, don't quote me on that. It must have been Pennzoil Platinum, and that lasted me for about, like, usually I change it at 5,000 miles. I think this was about 4,200, and it was like really dirty. It was completely black. So we'll see how this one holds up. Alright, so now the moment of truth. We're going to take our borescope camera, we're going to place it back down there. Everything has stopped kind of evaporating and everything, and we're going to see exactly just how much cleaner the intake manifold looks. Alright guys, so you just saw the footage with the borescope camera. You can tell that initially the carbon looked a little bit lighter and then it got a little bit darker, but I think that's honestly just because of the heat, because the engine was on. So I don't know if it really, like, you know, made it worse or anything. I don't think it made it worse. Yeah, but in that second video you could definitely tell that you could see a little bit more of the carbon because it was all heated up. You guys could be the judge, but I'm going to keep an eye on it for the next couple days because in about a week or so this should still be spitting out some of the carbon, so it may be cleaner. This may be a flawed test, but you know, I was hoping I would see some initial results, but not so much. But we'll see how the car performs in the next couple days, and then in the next video, or in a couple videos from now, I don't know exactly when I'm going to release it, I'm going to do an unboxing of the Perrin air oil separator, and we're going to do an install. I'm going to take it to the shop because that's kind of over my head as far as like technical expertise and like installing stuff. So yeah, we're gonna bring it to the shop, they're gonna install it, and it's gonna be really nice. It actually just started to hail a little bit. So guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video right here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you've used CRC intake cleaner before. Tell me what your thoughts are and like what kind of results you've gotten. I don't know if you ever actually got in there and to see the results, but those are my results. You know, take it or leave it. I mean, I don't know what to really make of it, but you guys be the judge. All right, take care now, guys. Peace.